Fomo. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with Swaggle. And in this video, we gotta talk about the big news. Hugh Jackman returning as Wolverine to Deadpool #3. Just when you think nothing is going on in the comic book market, just when you think there's no news to talk about, just when Swaggle is trying to get other work done in his life and thinking to himself, I'm not going to do a video today, there's really nothing to talk about. You get news like this and I got to bring it to you guys. So let's talk about it here today, and we'll kind of go through some of the news. And I want to talk about, this idea of books having this FOMO hit and seeing if that means that these books are now going to hit record high prices. Because just because I think we have Hugh Jackman returning as Wolverine doesn't mean I actually think that the Hulk 181s are going to be able to realize those peak prices once again. I think it'll cause an influx of, inventory being bought, but I don't necessarily think we're going to see those prices, although I will show you a couple FOMO sales that just did take place. But before I get into the video, if you guys could drop me a like or comment or subscribe if you're enjoying the content, helps support the channel, doing those things I would appreciate. But let's get into this video here today. Now, of course, the first thing we got to do is talk about the news itself. Here I have the Deadline article pulled up, and as you can see from the headline right there, it says Hugh Jackman returning as Wolverine in Deadpool 3 Marvel Pick Books release date. So this is really, really cool news. We got this actual trailer from Ryan Reynolds right here that he posted on his Instagram, I believe. I don't think I can actually play it for you guys, but I will put a link in the description if you guys want to go check it out yourself. But in very typical Ryan Reynolds Deadpool fashion, very irreverent humor, Hugh Jackman walks across the screen, and he basically asks Hugh Jackman if he's willing to be in Deadpool #3, and Hugh Jackman says yes. And so very, very cool. We have Wolverine coming back to the MCU. Now, Deadpool #3 isn't slated to come out until around 2024, I think September of 2024. But that doesn't stop people from doing impulse buys on Incredible Hulk 181. And this is pretty impressive. I mean, not to say that we've had too many so far, but even in the wake of this announcement, we've had a couple pretty massive sales right here. We saw a 4.5 sell for $3,500 instantly on a new listing. That's actually a pretty good, I would say, impulse buy, because the $3,500 is, fairly in line to some of the prices that this book has been selling for at that grade recently. But this 3.0 is definitely overshooting tremendously, especially when you think about that $171 for shipping right there. That one is definitely above and beyond what they should have been paying for this book. But the $3,500 sale is pretty strong, especially since you can see here just the day before on September 26th, this book was bought for $3,600. Now, I'm personally of the opinion that Hulk 181 is still correcting overall in the market. When I look at the Bronze Age index and the other indexes, and I'll do an update for you guys in the coming months, I actually think that this book still has room to come back down to earth a little bit. But with this announcement, it is very interesting that, it's probably going to hold the floor value for some time. Back in 2020, when we look at the prices for specifically the 4.5 grade here, this book was selling around the $2,300 range. So, based on my calculations, if we go 15% year over year returns up through today, that would bring this book kind of more in line to the $3,100 range. So I still think it's a little bit high overall, but as you can see, this book had been selling for a 36, like I pointed out. Here was another 3,600, 3,700. Here was a 32 and a 33. So I think that these prices right here were more in line for what this book should be going for at this present date. But the 3.0 definitely went for a lot higher than it should. Here are a couple sales, $2,450 and $1,560, probably a little bit low because those covers are faded, but here's like a really nice copy, $2,400 sale on Comic Connect just a couple months ago. So I think the 3.0 was definitely a stretch with that particular sale. But this is kind of where I think it's really interesting. We are sort of seeing a little bit of that FOMO still in the market, even though the waters are pretty cool overall. I see a lot of Hulk 181 books out there. I think a lot of people were definitely trying to unload their Hulk 181s. I mean, there's just so many out there in the market. And I do think that we're going to see, a bunch of sales coming up in the next, couple weeks or so based off of this announcement. We'll probably see other Wolverine books move as well, Hulk 340 and Wolverine 1 limited series. But, we got to control our FOMO, guys. We got to remember this movie's not coming out until the end of 2024. We got more than 2 years away from this particular movie being released, so plenty of time to find a Hulk 181. I still think prices are going to cool off a little bit based on my indexes and especially looking over the data. And while I do think it is very exciting that we're getting this used, I don't think that we're going to be seeing all-time record highs for this particular book. And one of the reasons why I want to show you guys that, or one of the reasons why, you know, we have to remember this, is because if I look up on eBay right now, Incredible Hulk 181, and I look for new listings, you can see that already off of the, you know, announcement here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 new listings, and that is compared to the 2 FOMO buys that we actually saw for ourselves. So you got to remember, you know, there are so many Hulk 181s on the market right now. It's such a high census book overall. If we look right here to the universal grades, I mean, this thing has 12,760 universal grades. I mean, that is quite a lot for this book overall. So, you know, we're going to see this influx of newly listed books. We're going to see this book get put out on all the, you know, Instagram accounts and stuff like that. So definitely, you know, control your FOMO. I definitely want a Hulk 181 myself, but I am going to not buy that 9.8 on eBay right now, and I will resist the temptation. But that was me kind of sharing the news, a little bit of a market update. Let me know what you guys think. Are you guys excited about this one? Are you guys feeling like you need to go FOMO buy a 181 or other Wolverine books? Drop me a like, comment, subscribe if you're enjoying the content, and I'll see you in the next video.